Welcome back, everybody, to On the Q with DQ. I'm your host, Darius Quisenberry. We have a very, very special guest today, somebody who has the hearts of the Fordham University, Fordham alums, somebody who led our football team to a tremendous season this year, and he's a quarterback, something like the point guard on the court of basketball. So welcome, Tim. Welcome to the show, my guy.
Appreciate it, man. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. I'll try to get you on while you guys are on that streak. Try to get you right before the championship game and stuff like that with Holy Cross, but obviously some things happened. But you had a tremendous season, obviously. Your football team had a tremendous season, your guys and everything, and obviously it doesn't end how you guys wanted it, but you had a great year and everything. And for you personally, you had won Player of the Year in the conference in the Patriot League, had the most passing yards. Basically, you've won every statistic category that a quarterback could win in the league. So how do you feel about that? In your year?
Yeah, I mean, it was, looking back on it now, it's all over. It's definitely, a special season offensively for, the whole offense. I think we were like second all-time FCS in yards per game. So kind of just, a testament to Coach Decker and the whole offensive staff and, just my receivers that I have, DeKeese, Fotis, MJ, Mackay, Garrett, all those guys, the running backs, offensive line. It was just like a very tight-knit group, and we kind of just took off with the season, ran with it. It was definitely, something I'll remember being with those guys forever, and, it was just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And obviously going off the year you just had, just give us a little insight on what the future holds for you, because it's very bright, obviously. You're a tremendous quarterback, so the NFL draft and workouts, what's the timeline for all that stuff?
Yeah, well, first I appreciate that. I mean, I just signed with an agent, so I'm going to go home for Christmas, and then I'll start training in January, starting the first week of January, and kind of build up to the draft. Hopefully, get a combine invite. But yeah, just workouts, kind of just do what I can do to give myself a chance, and kind of just wait and see what happens. Hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you'll definitely obviously have a great chance this year. Great guy, great quarterback, great leader. For one, let's talk about that. Obviously, there's a lot of things that happen on the field, or like for me, it happens on the court with adversity and certain things that don't go your way. So when that happens, when things are down for your team, what do you kind of say to try to spark them, or even like when you can't be out there for the defense, but you can still try to give some leadership to them? Try to speak on that.
Yeah, I usually try and stay like pretty even keeled. I try not to get too high, and I try not to get too low. So, when things are not going great, I always kind of just, I'll go talk to the O-line usually first. I'll be like, all right, we're good. Next drive, let's put one drive together, let's just put a first down together first. And then, let's get a drive going. I'll talk to the running backs, talk to the receivers. But I feel like, a good thing about the leadership on our team and the camaraderie we have, we always felt like no matter what situation we were in, whether we were down like 3 touchdowns, we always felt like something good was going to happen. So, like, even if we weren't scoring a couple of drives, it felt like one play, like we can get ourselves back in the game. So I think it's just, keeping everybody confident. And I think the fact that we were a good offense, everybody was always confident and nobody was worried whether, we were down a couple touchdowns. So I think it's just keeping the guys focused and knowing that, at any given point, a big play can come and we'll be right back in the game.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. That's kind of how we feel. Not down 11, down 20, whatever it is. You can always just make that run to come right back.
Absolutely.
So I definitely feel you on that part.
Yeah.
A funny thing I just seen though, I see your brother is a really good golfer.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
so do you golf at all?
Well, I used to when I was a kid, and then I would just end up when I was little, I would go every day with my brothers, and my mom would take us, and I would always, because I was a perfectionist, I wanted to be good. But obviously, golf's really hard, especially when you're 8 years old.
Hard.
And I would just end up crying and getting so pissed off. But yeah, I know my brother, he plays on the Corn Ferry Tour, which is the level below the PGA Tour. So he's playing in the U.S. Open, so I got to watch him in that. But no, golf's tough. I'm not very good.
Yeah, I know, it's all mental. You? It's all mental. It's not no matter how strong you are, none of that. It's all form. I can't do it personally, but no, it is a hard sport.
It's definitely one of the mentally hardest challenging sports. Cause, it's just you out there, you and a ball.
Literally,
everybody's watching. You gotta hit that.
Yeah, you can't strike it a certain way because if not, it's gonna curve.
Yeah,
man, I can't do it. But honestly, what do you think is harder, hitting it off the green or putting? Hitting it from the start or putting?
Well, I'm bad at both, but they say putting is more important because you could hit a 300-yard drive, 300 yards, but like if you miss like a 1-inch putt, like a 2-foot putt, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like they say, like drive for sure, like putt for dough, putt for dough, because it's important. But no, I think they're both hard.
For sure.
Depends on the green, I guess, how fast
Absolutely.
everyone. But
What's the name? So going off of that too as well, I'm gonna talk about your brother obviously and where you come from with your mother and father, who are tremendous, who raised you great, raised a great son and everything. So for me, I always talk about my whys and why I do certain things. That's why I bring people on the show to kind of give them a different perspective of themselves and let people see a different side of them, because they always see the quarterback on the field and stuff like that. They always see me on the court. So for me, my why is usually like my family. That's my biggest why, and God. I'm big in faith. So what is your why? What gets you up every day? What gets you on that field to throw practice passes? I mean, what is your reason to do what you do?
yeah, well, I'm also a man of faith too. But I think my biggest why is just I don't want to look back and have like any regrets. And one, I've like you have I've been raised by very hardworking parents. My dad is like one of the best guys I've ever met, and so they've set the standard for me that I try to follow. And the fact that my siblings, I say, I also look up to. Like my brother who's a Green Beret, so he's Special Forces, and he's been through. He's been like Afghanistan. He's been through some crazy things. So I always think, if what I'm doing is hard, it's like nothing compared to what he's doing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just try and I don't want to look back and like have any regrets, whether I make it professionally or not. I just want to look back and say, at least I gave everything I had to do, because I don't want to be like one of those guys that's like, oh, I could have maybe had a shot at the NFL, but like I didn't work hard.
Yeah.
I didn't work hard enough in the weight room. I didn't work hard enough like on my technique, and things like that. So I just think it's giving myself like the best opportunity and not live with any regrets.
Absolutely, for sure. And it's going off of, you just said your father's a tremendous guy, which he is. So is there things that you see him, is he your hero growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I would never say like, oh, my dad's my hero, because I always thought that that was corny. But looking on it, I would never give him the props that he deserves. But now, looking back on it, I mean, I've never seen the guy like complain or not do anything like he would come home from work and things like that, and I know he'd be tired. And when you're a kid, you don't realize that, but you make him go outside and throw football with you. Or he would go throw baseballs to me like every single day when I used to play baseball. So I just think about how lucky I was, because he would never there would never be a time where he wouldn't drop what he was doing to go throw a football with me or go hit baseballs with me. So I think he's definitely my hero.
Absolutely. I would say the same too. My dad's definitely my hero. I'm somebody I look up to just because I've seen the struggle of him while I was growing up, and now that I'm older, now like you just said, we can see what they were going through and the sacrifices they made for us growing up and everything. And then for me also, my mother is honestly my rock. I got her tatted on my rib and everything, just because I feel like that she is my rib. Without her, I just don't know where I'd be. Obviously, my father wouldn't know where he would be. So your mother for you, obviously they hold a dear part in our heart, just from a son to a mother. What does she mean to you on the field? Like for me, in my calmest moments on the court, sometimes I think of those who aren't out there with me, and stuff like that. So what does she mean to you in those times? Yeah,
my mom's always been like, my dad's been my go-to, but my mom has also been kind of like my go-to with sports sometimes. Whether I like growing up in high school, when I was a freshman I didn't play, she would always be like the one I'd talk to about my situations. Or like when I'm in college, like after the game, I'll ask her like, how did you think I did? And she'll always be honest with me. So she's kind of like somebody that has always helped me along the way. She knows sports really good, so she's somebody that I kind of can talk to about everything. But yeah, when I'm out there, I think of my parents, but I try and just focus on the game at hand, and because I know either way, I don't do good, I don't do bad. My parents, they're always they don't care how I perform, which I think is a good thing, because some parents, you see out there, you can be like crazy, extremely hard on their kids, especially at a young age, and I think it can have a negative effect. So I think I've been fortunate where I know I don't have to perform for my parents, but in calm moments out there, I'll think of my mom, I'll think of my dad, how they've been calm in certain situations, and I kind of focus on trying to do the same thing.
Absolutely. So growing up, you said you have siblings and everything. Are you the baby, middle child?
I'm the baby. I got
me too.
sister's the oldest, and then 2 older brothers.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the baby too. So
Yeah.
growing up, I always wanted to be with them. You know what I mean, do the things they could do. My brother and sister used to always go to the gym and stuff early in the morning. My dad wouldn't let me because I was too young. I just always wanted to do what they could do growing up, no matter what it was. Is that was about the same for you growing up, trying to fight with your siblings?
Yeah, well, yeah. We would always get into fights, like, every single day. I got a funny story about that. But, like, I would always want to hang out with my older siblings or their older friends, like the neighbors. We'd always be playing, like, basketball and stuff. But that's funny. Like, the fights you get in your siblings is just crazy. Like, me and my other brother, we'd always play, like, in my driveway we had the basketball hoop set up and everything, so we'd always play, like, you want to go play one-on-one. We'd always start out as, like, you know, a friendly one-on-one, and by the end of it we're just like screaming at each other, just jumping on each other's backs, you know. There's just no fouls. We're just, you know, hitting each other, throwing basketball at each other's faces. So, like, but yeah, those siblings fights are definitely different.
It's crazy. I'll tell you a story about that too. We have a little basketball court outside in our back. It was me. I'm the baby, so it's my older sister, and then my brother's older than me. It was us 3 at the house. My 2 older sisters were out of the house already. So we're in the back playing and stuff, and it's game point 21. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're playing the 21 and stuff, and I got 19, and so I'm going in for a layup, and my sister just pushes me right into the pole, and I just boom bust him. I'm blood everywhere, dripping down my nose. My tooth almost got knocked out and stuff, and I'm like, I quit. I can't do this anymore. Blah, blah. And that's why I kind of got this off the don't quit. It's funny. It comes in a full circle because my father, when I was young, would never let me quit at anything. And I mean, no matter what it was, if I was hurt or anything, like when I was walking back into the house, he's like, no, he wiped my stuff off with his T-shirt, my blood and stuff. He was like, no, get back out and finish the game. And that's kind of just the mentality I have growing up. And it's kind of just the same way I am now on the court. It's like I feel like I'm still trying to compete with my older brother and my older sister out there, and a little bit just that competitive nature. Obviously, they're not out there, but that competitive nature is still in me from a young age, and what my father instilled in me. So going off of that, did your father kind of instill that in you, not letting you, quit when you were young with your brother, even if they were beating you up or something, and they beat you a million times on the basketball court, if you guys went head on head, Oklahoma drill, or something like that while you guys were young, did he never let you be satisfied? Yeah,
I mean, when me and my siblings, we'd come in sometimes the house like crying, like screaming at each other, and you know, he'd always say, "Go take it outside. You guys, you guys go figure it out on your own." But yeah, you know, same with my father, and my mother. They always want me. If I start something, then you finish it. You know, no matter what it is. You know, reading a book, doing schoolwork. You know, playing sports. It was always, you know, do the best you can at it. If you're going to play a sport, then you know, you got to be the best you can be. I think my 8th grade, I ran track, and I didn't want to do it. It was just randomly the track coach, like, all right, it's like middle school, it's like, you're gonna run track. So that was one thing that I didn't want to do at all. As I would come home, I'm like, Mom, Dad, like, why am I playing track? And they're like, well, you know, you signed up for it, so, you know, you got to finish it out. So I think that's definitely something that my parents have instilled in me also.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're such a humble man, but honestly, I feel like you have to sometimes credit yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you did a tremendous job, and honestly, what do you feel, and this is the time you can be confident, what do you feel your road ahead is as of like an NFL quarterback? Do you see yourself out there really playing? Because we have to envision ourselves there before we're there. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I have to envision myself as a pro now before I get there, or I won't be ready. Is that kind of how you envision yourself right now, being on that field with if you're with the Eagles or if you're with the Vikings, anything like that?
Yeah, no, I mean 100%. I think it's I always think like football's never going to end. I feel like when I was a freshman in high school, I was like the backup JV quarterback. Yeah. And then I always thought I was going to play in college, and people would like at my school be like, you're a skinny kid, like you're on JV, like you're not gonna play in college. Yeah. And then as I got a little bit better and I started my junior year, I only got one offer at Fordham, and I'm like, I'm gonna go play college. And people are like, oh, like he's playing at Fordham, it doesn't matter. So I kind of always had that chip on my shoulder because the Fordham was the only school to offer me. And then now I've kind of gotten, like, I'm a very late bloomer. I don't know if you can attest to that. So I've kind of focused on getting a little bit better each year as I've gotten older. And then now that I've kind of done better and better at Fordham, it's like, oh, now there's, you know, some NFL scouts, like NFL teams are interested. So it's like wow, like the NFL, I even have a chance at that. And then now that I finish out this season, I believe that I can play the next level and compete at the next level. And that's definitely a goal and somewhere where I definitely see myself at for sure.
Absolutely. So. And just kind of going off of that right there, we always have naysayers or people who doubt us every day. You know what I mean? If we listen to them, it'll start to creep in.
For sure.
So, coming up, like you just said, trust the process. That's what we talk about every day. Trust the process. Just keep working, it'll happen. Mm-hmm. And all athletes hear that day in and day out, trust the process. But a lot of people really don't know what that means. And I feel like you're a big testament to that, of trusting the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So coming up, did you ever start to kind of lean into the doubters and to the naysayers on like, oh, you're not really good enough, or I don't know if you'll be a good quarterback in college. Yeah, you may make it there, but I don't know if you'll excel. But now you're excelling, and I don't know if you'll make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all comes full circle for
always,
sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So for you, did you ever start to have that creep into your mind, or you always like, no, I'm going to keep working. This kind of motivates me even more.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been times where I'd say it's creeped in my mind. I don't know if, you can say the same for you.
Yeah,
you try and say that you're always confident, and that doesn't get in your head what people say. But, I mean, it definitely creeped in my mind, especially in high school. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough to play college.
Yeah.
Maybe I've always thought when I was a little kid I was good and I'm going to play pro football. But and you're like, damn, maybe high school is it for me. And then you get your shot at college, and then you're like, all right, well maybe NFL, that's not going to have a shot. And then you start getting better. You're like, all right, maybe I have a shot at that. But I think I try not to read things that people say, like whether it's Twitter. Sometimes I'm on Twitter a lot, and you can see stuff or articles online. Whether it's good or bad, I try not to look into it too much because you can't let what people say negatively get in your head and things like that. So absolutely.
Heck yeah. And I just everybody obviously has that and stuff like that with the naysayers and the doubters and everything, but it's different when you're the vocal point of a team, because win or loss is on you. You know what I mean? So did that kind of affect your leadership in a way as well? Like, even if you guys lost, letting guys know, listen, I understand. Sometimes I have to let the guys know, it's okay to hear the outside noise, but don't let it affect you. Coach always talks about don't taste the perfume because it's poison. You know what I mean? That means saying, when people are going to be there with you when you're winning, but when you're losing, they're gone. You know what I mean? So for you on the field with your guys trying to keep their head right, what kind of is your mindset when you're trying to keep their head right?
Yeah, I think I can attest to this, especially last year when we were on, as an offense and a team, we weren't as good, and we were kind of getting our feet underneath us. I think we lost, I think we started out 0-3. And I think it was my mentality for myself and the team kind of just stays the exact same. Like you said, trust the process. I think I remember, we lost to FAU pretty bad. And then the next day we had a lift. My mind was just you can mope around and be pissed that you're 0-3 and that you're not doing good, or you can get after it in the weight room. So my mentality was just work out and lift as heavy and hard as I can do, and set that example, for the rest of the guys. And then when we get into meetings, be locked in and have practice, have a lot of energy and juice. That way, the rest of the team follows it. Because if, the leaders at the top are working hard and showing them, the rest of the guys are going to follow, because, they have no other choice. Otherwise, you're going to get on them. So I think it's just, even when you're doing bad, you trust that process. You work even harder and just, stay focused, and, eventually good things will come, I feel like.
Absolutely. Always. And then also when you're on the field, you can call audible. You're the quarterback. You know what I mean? So, so when a coach calls a play, and sometimes I do it on the court as a point guard and stuff. When a coach calls a play, or guys are kind of just running around and stuff, you trying to get a quick one. Yeah. Do you have a certain plays in your mind that you already have, or the wristband? The wristband and stuff like that.
So our offensive coordinator, he kind of calls all the plays, but a lot of times we like to get set. Our offense, we go really fast, up tempo and stuff. So we'll try and get a quick play if nobody's set. So we kind of have a couple, built-in plays that are all right, if they're not ready, we're gonna do this. Or sometimes I'll look to my coach on the sideline. I'll give him a signal that I want to do this play, and he'll run it for me. So it's definitely fun. Like you said, QB is the point guard of the football field. So you're trying to get everybody set up fast, and you're just trying to distribute the football, just like you're trying to pass the basketball around. I feel like. So it's fun. It's very similar for sure.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? That's good though, because off of that, I feel like you can call any play, but you gotta have to have that relationship with your head coach. I feel like
sure.
as me, I have to have one of the best relationships because you're the coach on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have those quick hitters. But so when you're on the field, do you have in your mind who you're gonna pass to, like who you think's gonna be open before the play even happens?
Yeah, it depends on the play. Sometimes we'll have, you'll have a specific play drawn up where it's like, all right, this guy is going to be where you're looking to throw the ball to. But usually, pretty much every play you have, whether it's like a running back on a check down or a different receiver, you'll have like something, because football is, just like basketball. You don't know what they're going to do defensively. Absolutely. So you call a play and they could play something completely, a different coverage. Yeah. So you got to go somewhere else with football. But a lot of plays are, reading the defense post snap, and anybody could be open. But then there's also, specific plays where it's like set to like one receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's get into, what you're about to do. You're just top 3 finalists of the quarterback award. Walter, say it again.
The Walter Peyton.
Walter Peyton.
Award,
I don't want to disrespect.
No, you're good.
So that's huge. Especially for coming out of Fordham, because a lot of people look at Fordham like, it's Fordham. We've had that stigma. Even on the basketball court, we still have that stigma.
Yeah.
So that's just a tremendous award, and just let us insight on what you're gonna do. You're flying out there. They're gonna fly you out there. You know what I mean? So you're living like a superstar already.
Yeah.
So just let us in on a little bit of that. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. So it'll be in Frisco, Texas. It's like the night before the FCS National Championship. It'll be like a little award banquet. There was like 3 finalists. As it's like the FCS Offensive Player of the Year. So I got selected as one of the 3. So. Yeah, it'll be exciting to go there, see what happens. So it's definitely.
I feel like exciting. You're gonna win it, man. I really feel like I'm not just saying it just to say we're on the radio, but like I really feel like you have the stats and just the personality and the person you are. I feel like that carries more, because they always talk about, even at the next level for NBA or overseas and stuff like that, we talk about being a locker room guy, and a quarterback always has to be that locker room guy, no matter what it is, because you're the leader on the field. You know what I mean? Or in the locker room as well. Because if you have somebody in the locker room who's an energy vampire, who's saying like, oh, the coach doesn't know what they're doing, or they're saying, oh, these players don't like this, you have moving different cliques, your team's not going to be very good. You know what I mean? But if you're bought into the whole program, what the coaches are saying, and you're all bought into each other, that's when your program's going to be good, and that's when you guys can move forward. And I feel like that's what you're going to bring to an NFL team. That's what you're going to bring to a organization. And that's why I feel like you're going to excel at the next level, because of the person you are, not just the player.
I really appreciate that. But, yeah, absolutely, you have to be a quarterback. Anybody in the football or basketball locker room, you got to be a leader, and you don't want to be like what you said, you can't be a cancer to the team. You can't talk about coaches behind their back. You can't have cliques. Everybody's got to be together. Yeah. You can have friend groups and everything, that's fine, but everybody's got to be, once you're in the locker room, you're on the field, everybody's a family. So for sure,
everybody's got to be on that one page.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you one more, and that's kind of just try to hit home. For you, afterwards, after football, because you're gonna have a tremendous career, right? You're gonna have a tremendous career. Afterwards, what does it look like for you, Tim? Like, what do you want to do with your degree? What do you want to do with your life after football? Does it? Yeah. Do you have a girl in your life?
I do not. I don't have a girl right now. But no, it's a good question. It's something I definitely gotta think about, because football it's not gonna last forever.
No, it doesn't. Same with basketball. It doesn't last forever.
That's always been all we've done. It's football, it's basketball. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm like, school, I push it to the side a little bit. But I know I don't want to work in like the city and do finance and that whole thing. But I do love being around sports. I love being around the sport of football. So I've always thought about I could become like a coach or something like that. Or I've always thought about I love being in Florida, and I would move to Florida and I would do like a QB training kind of thing. So I would train like youth and like high school kids, because I feel like I'm good with kids, like training them, and I can give good insight to help kids become better quarterbacks and things like that. So I think doing like QB training or something like that would be something.
Yeah.
Because I would be my own boss. I wouldn't something like that. I think is something that's kind of cool. Absolutely. So something I got to think about though for sure.
Yeah. That could be a little NIL thing you could have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you speaking of NIL, do you think you could get some stuff from your year this year? Like, Have you tried to have any brands reach out to you or anything like that?
I have not, and I'm leaving in 2 weeks, so I think once it's done, it's done. But Fordham's great, but we're not. I'm not playing for Texas, Alabama,
exactly.
those schools.
I feel you on that.
So I haven't really. I think if I maybe pushed for it, I could have got something. But I always kind of try and just focus on football. But I didn't really get any NIL, which stinks because some guy, these kids are making millions of dollars,
gosh,
bro.
I'm seeing around like the Oscar Tshiebwe from Kentucky literally made like $1.2 million just to go to Bahamas.
It's crazy.
Like you're not even.
I'm sure, yeah, bro. And like basketball kids are probably getting crazy shoe deal at a college guys, and they're making millions of dollars, and it's crazy because there's certain guys I thought were going to enter their draft this year, but it's like, oh, they're staying or they're entering their transfer folder because why not do another year of college and you're going to make an NFL salary, and then if it doesn't work out, you still have that. It's crazy for
like
sure.
The guys at LSU or Alabama, Alabama, everybody got track hawks. Like everybody got $25,000 cars.
Crazy.
Like what I mean? Like you're not getting that at Fordham. Like respectfully, you're not. But one thing I do love about Fordham is our alum base. Our alum base will take care of you afterwards. That's why I asked about. After your career of football, I feel like the way you carried yourself here at Fordham and the leadership you showed, they're gonna want you in their organization or their industry. You know what I mean? They're gonna want to hire you just from what you showed. And then you got your degree from Fordham, so the alum base here is just tremendous from everybody. They were just they showed up in a lot. At the basketball game yesterday. I saw all of them on the sideline. Mike Breen was even in the stands. Shout out Mike Breen.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just like they really buy into Fordham. They really believe in Fordham. They love Fordham. So I feel like regardless of what you do, which I already know what you're going to do on the field, but regardless of what you do off the field, I feel like you're going to be taken care of just from what you've shown here at Fordham.
I appreciate that. How about you? Do you know you? I mean, you obviously want to try and play in the NBA, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, that's pretty awesome.
Afterwards, that's why I'm just trying to build and get my master's. So afterwards, when I'm done, when the ball stops bouncing, which it does for everybody one day,
100%.
just try to stay around the game of basketball, be like a sports analyst on ESPN, just talk the game of basketball. I feel like that'd be a cool job to have.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like be on like NBA TNT or whatever. Shaq and them. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I kind of envision myself at.
You want to do something you love and enjoy, not
you don't
want to do something for work that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? I think being around sports.
You want to wake up every day and be like, oh, I want to go to work.
For sure.
You know what I mean? That's what I feel like it should be. So I appreciate you so much for being on, my guy.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. And I feel like our relationship is just starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I really like our friendship and where it's going. And I could say from a bystander, I'm proud of what you did for the university, bro. Like seriously, like you elevated the standard. You left it better than what it was when you came in. And I feel like that's our job in life. That's our goal as men in faith, to leave things better than what it was when we started. And you've elevated the standard of Fordham football, and it will forever be changed. And I feel like you'll forever be taken care of in the future from alum. And if you need anything from me, bro, I promise I'm here. We have our contact information now, so I appreciate you for just being on and talking to me today, bro. Seriously.
I really appreciate it, man. I had a blast talking to you, and it's great to see, we have similar thoughts, and we had similar situations, so I really appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, no doubt, man. Appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Good.